Hello, everyone. I'm Richard Crowther Jr., the Senior GIS Analyst at NVCOG. Welcome to our GIS Lunch and Learn all about the American Community Survey from the Census Bureau. Today, our presentation is going to be by David. Sorry, David, I'm going to mess up your last name. Kraiker?
Yeah, Kraiker. Yeah.
And he's going to go through a few insights on our population's demographics, or how to find information on our demographics, housing information, and economic conditions. So I'll turn the floor over to David.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I hope everybody can hear me and they can see my PowerPoint up here. What I'll do today is I will go through a bit of a PowerPoint presentation, maybe 20 minutes, give you background information, and then I'll go into our website, the portal, and show you where that data is and how to pull that down if you need to. And also at the end, I will show you something called a narrative profile that we can actually do on a computer or do on our phones. And so we'll just do a little exercise together just so you get the hang of it, how to get that information. So I should say, if you didn't know, I am what we call data dissemination specialist. I'm in Northern New Jersey, and I do cover Connecticut. We do come out and do, under normal circumstances, we come out or we do virtually free presentations and workshops for people, or organizations rather. And so, you know, feel free to contact me in the future. Right now, we're sort of under restraints to not do too much travel, so we actually have to do things virtually. But hoping that this, as we go into the new year, that maybe this frees up and we can do some in-person workshops. So, okay, I basically am I want to explain to you the difference between what we call decennial data, or the 2020 census, and American Community Survey. The reason I'm doing this is I think much of what people really look for is under the American Community Survey here on the right, and not really from the 10-year census. But let's just talk about it a little bit. Let me just explain. On the left here, the 10-year census is actually 100% data. Okay, so we are concerned about housing units and people, and we're making sure that it's 100% touched upon. What I mean by that is everybody's either received they received the questionnaire, and if they didn't return it, then we went and visited them. And if they weren't there at the time, then we may have asked their neighbors how many people live there, and then we got the counts that way. So 100%, we consider that. That was pegged to April 1st, 2020. That was during COVID, so it was a little bit more difficult. And once again, we're trying to count people in housing units, and not much more than that. There's only about 10 questions, maybe even 9, I think. So not a lot of data that people are looking for is in there, but much of it is just how many people are there, what sex they are, what are the age breakouts, what races they are, how many housing units, do people own it, do they rent? And not too much more than that, but it's given back to you in different sort of variations. Over here on the right, we have the American Community Survey, which is not 100% data, and that's why we call it a survey. It is a sample every year, and we're not really concerned about you know, how many people are there. We're concerned about how people are living in the US. So we're actually asking a lot of questions to figure out the demographics of an area. And I think this is the data that a lot of people are looking for when they're looking to fill in information for grants, for grant writing. It is based on a period in time, so it is not based on April 1st. Instead, we arrive and we say, how long have you lived here? If somebody says I've lived here for, you know, a year, we say, great, you're in scope. But if somebody says, I've only lived here for 1 month, we say you are not in scope and you don't get counted. So they have to be there 2 months at least. And And then we're looking for characteristics such as income, poverty, education, housing, economic things. That sort of thing is what we look for. So really getting deep into the weeds. Over here, a little bit more about ACS is the annual sample, 3.5 million addresses are selected. So notice I say addresses. We may actually get to an address and nobody's living there. Maybe it's vacant. And if that does happen, so think of, maybe some shore homes along the shore of Connecticut. Maybe they're only there those are homes for the summer. People aren't living there all the time. If we determine nobody's living there, we still try to get the housing unit information. So we may come to you at your tax office and we say, well, we can't really tell you what address we're looking for, but we are looking at addresses and can you help us? We just need to get some basic information about the housing unit. So once again, we are counting people, but we're counting housing units at the same time. Data collection method is that we send a card, little white bland postcard, letting people know that their address has been selected for ACS. They can look on the card. There will be a code there and a web address. And if they want to, right then, they can just take their phone and they can go in and they can do the survey at that moment. There are 72 questions. Oh, and if they don't fill up the card or do it online, they're going to get a letter saying, just reiterating that and then telling them that a questionnaire is coming to their house. And so they'll get that questionnaire a week later, and they can fill out that questionnaire. And this is a sample of it on the right piece of it, and they can send it back. If they do not send that questionnaire back, we most likely, I say most likely because I think 1/3 of what remains is sort of thrown out, but 2/3 of it, we send field representatives out there to interview people, and they are very assertive in getting those interviews. You do not have to answer every question. We would just be happy if you'd answer most questions. There are, I think, 72 or 71 questions. Some questions you're naturally excluded from. So for example, if you're not a veteran and there's a question, are you veteran? Then you may be, exempt from the next 4 questions. Anyway, the other thing is we're not too interested in your name. You can use whatever name you want to use at the time. You can say I'm person A or person B or father or sister, whatever you want to do. Data is released every year. So it's released in September. That's called 1-year data. And we have 5-year data that's released in December. So in just a few weeks, that 5-year data will be released. And I think that's what most towns in Connecticut would be looking for, would be that 5-year data. This is just a sample of what the questionnaire looks like on the right. Notice that we do let people write things in, and then we have software that can read handwriting and will help categorize it. So these are the 4, I call them tranches of data. So over here on the left, social information that comes from a table called DPO2. So it's all ancestry, citizenship, things of this sort going through. And then the next thing is economics, so DPO3. And so we have all these sorts of pieces of information in here. Housing. So we do have a lot of housing information. Maybe you need, I've had companies come to me, they're trying to analyze, where people are using, I guess it's oil, where they have oil delivered. And maybe they're trying to get people to switch over to gas or electricity. So they might, use our information to target those areas. And then we have over here DPO5, that's demographic information. That's a very basic information about age, race, Hispanic, sex, that sort of things. Hispanic we do not view as a race, by the way. It's its own thing. Okay, this little orange box, that's what came out of the decennial census, out of the 2020 census. It's very similar to DPO5 up here on the right, but slightly different, a little bit more in there. But anyway, that is there too. If I remember, I'll show you how to find the 2020 data. It takes 5 years to get a question on the form. And it really, if you look over here on the left, the proposal has to come from another federal agency. And then we entertain that and do a little bit of research and testing. especially the wording. So we do have people who are kind of linguists, and they figure out how to put in questions or how to attach one question to another question. Anyway, we publicize it on the Federal Register. Then after we do the testing, we sort of evaluate it to see if the data we got actually looks like what was needed. And then we, over here on the right, we make a decision about it with input from other agencies. So all this takes 5 years to get a question on that form. Not easy. So I kind of say don't even think about it. All right, little geography question information here. So every block in the nation gets a number. That the block numbers and the block data is only available for a 10-year census, not for the ACS. And then the blocks nest within a block group. So the 10-year census, the decennial, that data is released at a block group level as well. There is a little bit of ACS data released at a block group level. Block group level is like a mini neighborhood, by the way. And then the block groups nest within the tract. The tracts are very stable in time. I'm going to tell you this is our showcase geography. We like to release data at the tract level. So ACS data is always released at the tract level. The 10-year census data is always released at tract level. Tracts were invented between 1910 and 1920 in New York City. They went nationwide around 1950. So you can, go back in time. Tract boundaries tend to stay the same. So you can go back through time and look at data. Tract blocks nest within a county, or tracts nest within a county, but they do not necessarily fit within city areas, because cities, especially in the rest of the country, are expanding all the time. And we don't want tract boundaries to change. We want them to stay the same. So, however, when they were devised, Connecticut already had all, its municipalities and cities, their boundaries were already there. And so the tracts tend to nest pretty well in New England within those towns and cities. So you get something if you live in New England, you get a little bonus there. Okay, nest within a county, the counties nest within the states nest within the US, so you can get data that way. That's the normal way to get data. But over here on the left, I just want you to see zip code tabulation area. You can get data by zip codes. You can get it by place, which would be just a city or a borough in Connecticut. I should get rid of this minor civil division. It's actually county subdivision, but in-house we call it a minor civil division. Congressional districts, school districts, you get data. Public use microdata areas, you can get it. And then here we have down here county subdivision, which is, I'll probably show you tract and county subdivision today. County subdivision is how you say town or city in Connecticut, and you can get that data that way. So that is sort of the secret wording to find that data. All right, this is the most important slide, probably. 65,000 is the magic population number. If you have a town or a city that has more than 65,000 in population, or whatever it is, whether it's a city or a county or congressional district, you can get data every year in September. It is called the 1-year census data release. And you can get that because you're over 65,000 in population. But what do you do if you are under 65,000 in population, which is most places, right? Most zip codes, places are towns and even a lot of counties and census tracts, they're all under 65,000. So we have this method, we call it the 5-year data. It is data that is ingested over 5 years, and after 5 years, the sample is large enough, we release it every year in December. So you might say, well, why not just increase the sample so we can get data every year? Well, it costs a heck of a lot of money to go out and interview these people and to figure out where we're going and pay our workers mileage to get there. And so we don't want to overburden the public. So it's a smaller sample, but we just do it over 5 years. And after 5 years, we release it, and you can get the data every year in December. It's just different, chunks of 5-year data. That is from 65,000 and below, but also for above 65,000. So if you have a city our county that's larger than 65,000, you have the option of the 1-year data or the 5-year data. Okay, so you can do either one. Going down to 4,000, 4,000 is the average population of a census tract around the country. So we do this on purpose. We always ensure that there's always data for census tracts, so areas down to 4,000, but under 4,000, I would say probably even 3,500 going lower, the margins of error begin to climb. And so you want to be a little bit careful about using that data and say to yourself, should I really use this data or not? Now, a lot of people just go ahead and use it and they don't question it. But I am required to tell you, look at your margins of error and question it if you feel it's necessary. The margins of error can climb because of low populations, or they can climb because not everybody answers every question. So that's just the way it is. I will skip that. So I just want to call this anatomy of a census table. So all census tables begin with a letter. So this is what's called a base table. It's just about one topic. But what I will show you today is probably this DP table. Data profile they are the Walmarts of tables. They have data in there, big, a lot of data about all sorts of things, but it never really delves into any one topic too much. Okay, so it's just a little bit. So DP tables. Then the next part that's here sort of in the salmon color, a number is sort of a numbering scheme up to 29, 2 digits. It's the broader subject. There is a website called censusreporter.org, and they actually explain, that's where I got this actually. They explain the topics very well if you were looking for something. So the topic area, then just a sub area within a topic, and then we have over here a suffix. If you get a suffix and you don't, if you're not paying attention and you grab a table and has a suffix, it's only dealing with one race. And here are the racial breakouts over here. There are 9 of them. I just want you to be aware of that. You probably, in general, probably just want the main table without the suffix. But if you do get the suffix, just understand that you're looking at one race in particular. So, this is what the website will look like that I'm taking you to today. It's called Explore Census Data, or in-house we call it data.census.gov. This is the URL. That is, you just simply type that in to get there. It is, the key to this is using advanced search right here if you want to have control over what you're looking for. Now you could come up here and just put in, for example, Ansonia population. Oops, sorry, let me go back. Or something like, I don't know, Bristol and a topic, and it will find things for you. But you don't have a lot of control over this. You don't even know what year it will pop up. So I really urge you to use advanced search. We do have data going back to the year 2000, 5-year data. And so I can show you, I'll show you how that works. Multiple surveys are in here. It is not just American Community Survey, it's also the decennial from 2020, the decennial from 2010, and from 2000. That information's in there too. And there's a little bit of economic data in there. We're trying to, put the tables into this portal as best we can. Sometimes it doesn't work, however. The ACS, it works. And the 2020 data, it works. Okay, and I'm just going to be very frank here. Only recently did the Census Bureau convert over to the county equivalents for Connecticut, meaning your, I guess, your planning districts, I'll call them. So that could be a little challenge for you. 2020, if you're looking for 2020 data, it's the old historic counties, I'll call them, which I guess were abolished in 1960. It only took us, I don't know, 50 years, 60 years to catch up to this. But anyway, through 2000, you're going to get the historic counties, 2020 rather, the historic counties, information that way. And then I'm really going to say maybe skip the year 2021. It might be in there, but I go to 2022. And that's where you're going to get your new data, meaning your new, it isn't really new to you, but to us it is the county equivalents, we call them. So there's no overlap. You can't get each of those different things for a certain year. I'm really just advising maybe 2021's a year to skip. All right, and I will show you this at the end, the narrative profile. We're going to do this on our phones. And so it is a different way to get data. If you're writing a grant, this might be for you. It comes in a narrative and you can just copy and paste it. It's only based on the 5-year data. You can only do one geography at a time, like one town or one tract or whatever. The data on this is collapsible and it is not copyrighted. And so if you want to just pull it, copy it, and paste it, you are welcome to do that. Okay, that is what it is made for. I've put this into the slide deck because I was really thinking you might get this slide deck distributed to you. I can do that if you want. But the first time you go in and look in data.census.gov for data, which is what I'll show you first, I really, really recommend you select the year first and then the geographies. If you do not select the year, it will commingle the older counties with the newer counties or new county equivalents, and it will confuse the system. So you really need to put the year in first, and then your geography, and then probably your survey. So I would say a ACS 5-year data profile, and then it will give you options to select, and you can select them. Okay. There are other ways to look for data, but notice I say put that year in first, your geography, and instead of looking for the survey, you can look for the topic. Okay, so for example, housing, you could put that in, and it'll give you all sorts of tables on housing, and then you can just sort of window shop through it and select if you wanted to. Once you become a power user, if you want to, you could select the survey that you want first, and then just put your geo in there and then get your selection. And what it will do, it will give you data going back through many years if you wanted to do that. I don't recommend you do this by the county right now, but you could do it by your town if you wanted to, and that would work. Okay, so any questions so far?
Any questions in the room? No, I think we're good, David.
You're good. You're enjoying your lunch. Okay. All right. So this is actually my contact information. I just put it up here. If you want to take a photo of it, you're welcome. Before I go on to the website, you are welcome to contact me. Sometimes I go away on a long vacation, so if you don't hear from me within like 24 hours, you're going to want to contact the census.askdata@census.gov. There's also a phone number. I think you can call if you wanted to. A few reference emails websites over here, the ACS, the data.census.gov, and I mentioned Census Reporter, which can be quite a helpful website as well. So let me just stop sharing really quickly, and then I will reshare if you don't mind. I'll just do it that way.
Yeah,
So
I just want to let everybody know we'll forward all of that information in the follow-up email.
yeah. Yeah, and let me just make sure I am here. I will sorry, you're going to see yourselves really quick. Let me just do the full screen here. I will say share, and I will come down here, and sorry, you're going to see this really quick. And I'm going to go to data.census.gov. Where there it is. Can you see that? Explore census data.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let me just move that up there. All right, so this is how you get there, data.census.gov. Here is advanced search down here. You could put something in right here. So let me just show you. I'll put in Ansonia, and I will just city in Connecticut, and I could look for things, or I can just sort of select it, and it gives you something. Okay, oh, it's actually putting me into data.census.gov, but over here is a profile. If you wanted to look at that, it kind of gives you some information. Let's just see what happens. Here it is, giving you the total population from 2020. It's giving you some basic information, showing you that you got the right Ansonia right here. And then as you go down, it sort of takes a little while to populate, and then it gives you some extra data if you want to see that. So, and then here, oh, sorry, let me come back down here. Here it is, income and poverty, education, employment, housing. Let's just click on housing, see if we get any information. It's very slow, but I think this is just the way it's built. It can be a little bit slow coming through. Here it comes. I think sometimes this works quite well on a phone. Okay. And all right. So anyway, let me just go back to where we started, and I just click on this logo up here, and it brings me right back to explore census data. And I'm going to come right here to advanced search, and maybe I'll just start where we started before with Ansonia. So this is what you do. You do have to drill down, okay? And so what you do at the beginning is you indicate what you're looking for. So I say, I'm looking for county subdivision, okay? And then it sort of brings you back to the top, and it says Connecticut. You have to say Connecticut. So what you don't want to do is just start over here with Connecticut. And you have to say what you're looking for. And then you come here to Connecticut, and then you come down here. And so what mistake did I make? I did not select my year first. So it's giving me all these different things to select from. What I need to do is come back here, go back. Let me just close geographies. Look at this. Over here on the left are all these filters. There's 5 of them. I should have shown you that. So here are 5 filters, geographies and years. Those are the 2 things you need to get this going. So 2022, let me just select that. That's the latest data that we have out there for smaller geographies. So the first week in December is when the new 2023 data comes out. It takes us a whole year to get that data ready and prepped. Okay, county subdivision. I come back to Connecticut. Okay, and here are the new, actually everything's in there. But anyway, we want Naugatuck. Let me find, there it is, Naugatuck+Valley planning. And I'm looking for Ansonia, and let me just show you what it looks like. So there's Ansonia. It comes up, and over here in my filters, 2022, Ansonia town, right? And then I come down here and I say, okay, what surveys am I looking for? So I could do it either way. I could say topics or surveys, but let's just start this way. American Community Survey. So I'm going to go with the 5-year estimates. I don't know the population of Ansonia. I'll come here to data profile. I can select any of these. Let's just talk about this. Data profile, the Walmarts of tables. It has everything in it, a little bit about everything, but not really delving into anything too much. Subject tables really delve into one subject, and they're going to give you numbers and percentages, which are kind of nice. And then detailed tables will delve into the same sort of subject areas, but just give you sort of hard numbers. So let me just click on here, data profile. And I can either come down here to the lower right and click on this blue button that's a search, or I can just come up to the top, which is what I do, and click on tables. And it shows me the 4 main tables that are available. Okay, and so here they are. And you can go through. So this is just the basic table that gives you the population breakout for Ansonia. And so this is 5-year average through 2022. Let me just show you what's here. So male, how many males, how many females. We give you this margin of error all the time. We're letting you make your own decisions, and we're giving you percentages over here on the right and percent for the margin of error as well. So you get percentages and numbers. So we go down here, it's numerical breakouts, age breakouts, racial breakouts down here a little bit. Okay, if you're looking for those 2 races, so some people maybe are 2 races. I want to say these racial breakouts never add up to like 100% or add up too well, because some people are in one race and another race. So some people have checked off 2 races or 3 races sometimes. So just be careful of that. Total population, here it is down here. And then we have the Hispanic. That's his own kind of thing. And then it is broken out, I believe, yeah, by race, if you're looking for that. and then citizen. So this is to figure out a little bit how many people potentially can vote. We do ask the question, are you a citizen? I know it's a hot topic right now in politics. ACS, we do ask the question. We ask, are you a citizen? If somebody says no, we skip. We say, okay, you skip now. You don't answer the rest of these questions. If people say, I am a citizen, we say, are you born here? And they say, yes. We say, okay, thanks. And if not, we say, are you naturalized? And if you're naturalized, we ask what year. So that's sort of how we do it. We don't really delve into the non-citizen thing. So this is to help you figure out 18 and over. This is the amount of people who potentially could vote in Ansonia. Okay, males and females. We do not ask about their political party or religion, by the way. So, all right, so this is one table. You can sort of pivot between tables, social characteristics. So I'll just click on this one. I call this window shopping over here at the left. You can kind of go through here and see what's here. They are sometimes big tables, sometimes not. But how are people married? Who's living at home? Are grandparents living there? Are they taking care of the kids? Birth rate is down here. We call it fertility. Grandparents, here it is, school enrollment. Okay, so maybe if you have a school district, you're interested in this. Does not mean that they're enrolled in your district, though. It just means they live in your district. Maybe they're in a private school or something. Anytime you see anything in capital letters in these DP tables, it means that somewhere else there are going to be the base tables or the subject tables that deal more in depth with this topic. Okay, so educational attainment, veteran status, maybe you need information on veterans, disabilities. We have a lot of information on disabilities, whether people are veterans or civilians. Residents a year ago, and then sort of birthplace, we have that information, US citizenship information, the world region, languages, ancestry. This is very Eurocentric. There's a few things that are not European, but not too much here. Computer information. Okay, so that's sort of social information, but then you have the economic information here on the left. I'm just clicking, on window shopping over here on the left and sort of pivoting between tables so that you can see them. So this is just more about employment, unemployment, how do people get to work? That information, and then the amount of time they spent getting to work. And then this work from home category is right here where my arrow is kind of new. So you can, percentages of people who work from home, occupation that people are in, industry that they're in, class of worker, the income and benefits. So how much money are people making in your town? And then we have down here, I'm going to go back to the left, housing characteristics. So maybe that's of interest to you. The units and structures, when were the units built? My community is where I live in New Jersey. They're trying to, I think they have lead piping issues, and I think that is sort of pegged to the year that homes are built, and so they're looking at this information too. It is not pinpointing any one home, though. It's just pinpointing where you have more prevalence of something. Number of rooms in a home, bedrooms, housing tenure. Are they renters? Are they owners? Right here. When do they move in? How many vehicles do they have? I don't know. In my town, I see that when we have planning done to build buildings, they're trying to figure out how many parking spaces they need by the number of vehicles that people tend to use. So heating, fuel, here it is, right here, if you needed that. Other characteristics about plumbing, occupants in a room, owner occupied units, the value, the mortgage status, selected monthly owner costs. Okay, so it's sort of letting you know. And I think if we went looking for this owner costs thing as a table, it has quite a lot of interesting information. Housing units without a mortgage. So all this information is here. It kind of keeps going and going and going. Anyway, if you needed this information over here on the right, upper right, I just closed that filtering and results window. If you wanted this table, you come up here to the upper right, and there are 3 dots here. You can turn off the margin of error. Some people do. You can come up here and you can download. Okay, so you can download it into Excel if you want to. You can download it into CSV. If you are a GIS person, I recommend that you use Zip. Zip is how you're going to get your Geo ID if you need that. So GIS people use Zip. I think it prints, but not, as I recall, not too well. So I'm not really showing that. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here and do it again just so you see. I'm going to change this a little bit. So I come here to Census, and I'm going to come here to advanced search. I cleared everything out for me, advanced search. I come down here, I will select the year again, 2022, there it is, and geography, and let me just change it up a little. I could take every town in Naugatuck+Valley. Let me just do that. Okay, I'll come here to county subdivision, and we're coming back here to Connecticut, and we're looking for Naugatuck+Valley and all county subdivisions within Naugatuck+Valley planning region. And I say yes, and here it is up here. And now I need to look for some sort of data. So I could do it this way. So instead of looking for the survey, I could come here and here's topics. So maybe we come here and we just look at housing, and I click on housing. It has sort of different type of information here. I'm not really sure what people look for. But let's look at financial characteristics, and we'll just look at maybe, not really sure. I'll just take something financial characteristics there, and I come up here, I say tables. I just want to see what there are here. So of course it always puts that DPO4 table there. That's the favorite table, the Walmart's of tables. But then these S tables can be really good sometimes. They have they dig deeper into one topic. So here, let me just click on it so you see. So household income for occupied housing characteristics. So it's giving me that monthly housing costs, the median household costs, monthly housing costs as a percentage of household income. And so that's kind of an interesting thing, like 30% or more, and you can come over here and I think, yeah, you get a percentage. So what percentage of people are spending more than 30%? This is of how much they make. So you have to sort of go through this and look at it if you want to. So of people who are making more than 75,000 a year, how many people are spending more than 30% of their income on housing costs? So kind of an interesting thing you can look at if you needed that. So this is all the towns in your county, I'll call them municipalities. And once again, you could come up here, you could turn off the margin of error if you wanted to. You could download the whole thing if you wanted to. So let me just show you Excel. If it will open it for me. Here it is. I think that is the one. Let me just say, okay, save. It will come up here. Yeah, here it is. Okay. Oh, you know what? I don't think you're going to see my pop-up. I'm not sure. Do you see it, the pop-up?
Well, we see
Excel.
the Excel.
You do. Okay. Yeah, and then here it is. So you see this is what the Excel spreadsheet would look like. I just want you to get a feeling, for what that would look like. Okay. So let me just reduce that. Okay, so we're back here. Now you can see this, the census page. We're back to S2501 financial characteristics.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right, so the other thing you can do here, if you wanted to, maybe in your town, you have a GIS person. I used to be a GIS person, and people would come to me and they want a map. I'd say, okay, that will take you 3 weeks, or that will take you 2 days before you get that map. Or I'd give it to them and they'd say, I can't read the map. This isn't what I wanted. So you can make your own map. So if you have more than one geography, more than one town, so like 2 towns, 3 towns, 4 towns, but not just one, you can or even all the tracks in your planning district or in your town. You can come over here and you can say, show me a map, make me a map. And so down here at the very bottom is a little button and it says map it. And it will create what's called a choropleth map. And it is a color coded map. But what are we looking at? And so we don't know. We know that we're looking at something to do with housing and housing income. But you have to come up here to this little arrow, this little toggle switch here, and you have to sort of create your map. Do you want a number? Do you want a percentage? I want a percentage, but what do I want a percentage of? So I'm going to say percent owner occupied housing units estimate, and then let me just see what else is here. And then I come down here, monthly housing costs. I'm just going to say they're spending more than $3,000 or more. I just want to know, and it's going to shade it in that map for you. You can only do one thing at a time. Let me just make that a little bit bigger. Okay, you can do one thing at a time if you want to, one variable at a time. You can come back here, you can change it. Okay, and then you say, okay, well, let me see the people who, you know, have, I don't know, $75,000 or more, and they're less than 20%. Okay, the people who are maybe more well off or just not spending money. So you can kind of see that. You can click on it. Here's the darker one. You can say, okay, that's Cheshire town. However you want to do it, you can look at this and change things if you want to. If this is not what you want, you can go all the way back to the table and change your table and sort of select something else. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this and save it if you want to. You can also let me just do this, F11, come up here and grab your URL and right click and copy and paste it into something, and then tomorrow when you open it you will have this map. Okay, so you can certainly do that. Just in case you're not going to get anything from your GIS person. Sorry, don't want to, you know, but I just remember the times when I used to be the GIS person and the backload of things that I'd have. So you then want to go back to your table, just click on the table and it brings you back here. Here's that table. You may come back to your results here and say, well, I don't even want this. I want something totally different. Selected housing characteristics. I may come back and say, I just want to see where I have vacancies in the whole county. Okay, so here it is right here, housing occupancy, vacancies. Let's just look at that, okay? So I come over here back to ... and I say map it. If I can get down, it's all the way down here to the bottom. Map, brings me back to the map. Occupied housing, and I don't want occupied. I'm clicking on here, going back to my variable. I want the percentage, the highest percentage of housing. If I can find it, maybe I got it. Vacant. Oh, it was at the top. I'm sorry. Vacant housing units. There it is. We just want to see who has the highest percentage of vacant housing units. Doesn't mean it's the highest number. It means the highest percentage. So this town, Bethlehem town, it doesn't. It could mean that, you know, remember we're doing this all year long. Maybe these are wealthier people and they're in Florida during the winter. Maybe that's when we arrived to do ACS. You know, who knows? We don't know what the reasoning is behind this, but that could be it, you know, and maybe it just fell into scope that way. So you can do this if you want to. A lot to do here. Okay. And let me see what time it is. I don't know. How late do I have? Till 1 o'clock or 1:15?
1:15.
1:15. Okay, I'll show you something else really quickly. So I don't know, what is the largest municipality in your district? Like a city, is it?
Waterbury.
Okay, Waterbury. Okay. So I'll come back. I'm going to come back here and just clear out the whole thing. I just click on the logo, and I'll just come here, advanced search again. Once again, I come down here and I say, okay, where is it? 2022. Select that. I'm going quickly now, and let me just show you. Census tract. And I say, okay, I want Connecticut. I want Naugatuck+Valley planning region, and I want, do I want also, oh, so, I want all the tracks in Waterbury, but it's not working. It just wants to give me the whole county equivalent. But look at this. I think we can fool it a little bit. Up here it says within other geographies. I think if I click on that, yeah, county subdivision right there, I can kind of clip it. And so let's just see if it gives me anything within other geographies. It might not. Normally it would do that for me. I'm really sorry. Okay, so can't really do it that way. Or it's not, let me just say it's not being cooperative with me right now. Okay, I'm not going to say can't do it. It is there and it should work, but Thursday mornings are when we make updates, so sometimes things are just slow. So let's just do all the tracks. So we'll select all the tracks in the whole county, and I just want you to see what that looks like, right? And I will come down here and let me just take a topic, health. So I'll just say health insurance. Let's see who has or doesn't have health insurance. And we'll just say tables right there. And different things. Well, I tend to like the DP tables, but I don't see it here. So I will just click on this 2701. Let's look at that table. Okay, insured. Let me pull that over. Insured, but let's percent insured. And let's see, in uninsured. Okay, here we have it. And then the percent uninsured right there within the county. Maybe you're looking for a place to put in, have a free vaccination clinic. And so let's just look at this. We're going to map it. I'll come over here to the right and I'll come down to the map. And it's going to map the whole area for you, every tract. Okay. And it just chose something in that table. I have to come up to that little drop down right here. And I'm looking for percent uninsured. There it is, percent uninsured. And for civilian, not, I think it's actually, let's make sure it's percent, no, I got the wrong thing. I just want percent uninsured, sorry. Percent uninsured estimate, there it is. Yeah, that's it, the whole thing. Yeah, that's it. Okay, and so now it's sort of giving me a picture of where you are, where you have higher percentages of people uninsured. So one thing you can do over here in the right, upper right, there's a little button. It says boundaries, turn on. Here it is down here, county subdivisions. Turn those on. And then as we zoom into this, we kind of get a slightly better picture of what's going on. I think this is all Waterbury here. But then you have the other towns in your area, Naugatuck town, okay? And so it's sort of giving you a little bit of information. Beacon, Bethany. So this is where you have higher percentages of uninsured. Okay, the highest tracts have about 4,000 people in them, right? 18.3. I don't know which one it is, but I'll take a guess. There it is right there. Okay, so you can kind of guess how many people are uninsured if you wanted to. Okay, so any questions about this? Maybe you wanted me to show something else. I'm not really sure.
Not in the room. Anybody online have any questions so far?
So far? Okay. Yeah, here's something. Someone.
No, that was in the room. She was saying this was helpful.
Okay, all right. I mean, I'm just trying to get you going. Okay, so I'm going to show you a slightly different way to get into this. So this is where I want you to pull out your phone, your iPhone. And what I want you to do is in your search, I think you can see my search bar up here. Let's do this. ACS, put that in, narrative profiles, okay? And just type that in, find. So ACS, narrative profiles. And when I click on find, the first thing it finds is this, narrative profiles, American Community Survey. And I click on that and it gives me something that looks like this. And it should come up on your phone and it should look pretty good. So here we are, 2022, and we can only look for, we can do two things. We can look up information for one address if we wanted to. That's over here. But for right now, we'll just, look up something. And so let's look up a place. And so I'll put that in. Oh, actually, we can't do place. We have to do county subdivision. Like I said, that's a secret wording to look for things in New England. So county subdivision, I come down here and I say, okay, but what state? And I say, okay, I want Connecticut. And I'll say, here it is, Naugatuck+Valley Planning Region. And we're going to look for, okay, I don't know what to look for. I'll choose Bristol this time. So Bristol, and I say, you can do whatever town you want. And I say, get the narrative profile. And it will take about 20 seconds for this to generate. Okay, so I show you this because this is the thing you can copy and paste and put into a report, and we don't care. It is not copyrighted. But we would prefer that you cover yourself and say it came from the ACS 5-year 2018 to 2022 data. Okay, just something like that. So it will look like this. Notice you have two buttons here. You can open all or close all. Look what happens when I click close all. It's sort of like chapters in a book, and you can come through and you can look at different things. So maybe income. It doesn't have everything in here, but it has some things, what we consider to be the most sought after items. So it is in here. It is in a written format, and also this bar graph, not copyrighted. If you want to use that, maybe in a presentation or something, or print it and put it, whatever you want to do, you can do it. It does tell you where it came from down here. That information is there. It's coming from two different tables, from DPO3 and B20018. Look at what happens if, well, I won't show you that yet. Let me just show you all these different things here. Native born, households and family. I just want to point out though, you can close these little chapters if you want to. Population is pretty far down. So it's kind of worded a little funny, but from 2018 to 2022, the average for Bristol was population of 61,000. And then a little hyphen, and it says 30,000 females and 30,000 males, whatever. So it's worded a little oddly, but it is there for you to copy and paste, okay? So that's the narrative profile, but look at what happens. The reference down here, it's right here, it says DPO5. If I click on that link, whether you're on your phone or in this computer, it brings that table up for you, the full table. Okay, and the DPO5, and if you want to download the table, you can download that table too. Okay, so it is there. So some people say this is in a way, a quicker way to get into the system and look for your data. If you wanted to do that, you're most welcome to do it however you can get that information. Okay, let me go back. So I'm going back to this other tab, going back to the top for narrative profile. And this is what I'm going to do. Just so you see, I'm going to click on this. It says change geography. So if you can do it on your phone, please do change geography. And let's do this. Use address lookup. So let's look up an address. Okay, so let me just see. I need. Okay, Rich, what is the address there where you are today?
49 Leavenworth Street, Leavenworth, Waterbury, Connecticut.
Oh. But you can put your own home address or your office, your town hall if you want to, and you don't need a zip code. You can just put in CT, and I put that in, look up address. I think it looked it up already, and it found it. Sometimes if it's a brand new address, it may not find it. or sometimes it may not find some businesses, but it should find home addresses. Anyway, look at this is how you find the tract that you're in. Or if you want to find the zip code you're in, or the city, the planning region, and the state that you're in. And so maybe I need the information about that neighborhood. Maybe, for example, this is where I want to put a business, or maybe we want to put a library there. Some librarians like to analyze their neighborhoods. And I'll click on the tract. Here it is, view the narrative profile. And it will give me a narrative profile just for that tract. Okay, it lets you know you are now in tract 3501.01. Okay, and then as we go down, it starts to give you all sorts of information. Okay, marital status. 51% of the males, they're never married. And then we keep going, all sorts of information. Okay. 89% of people are coming from Latin America in that census tract. Does it sound like the census tract you're in?
Yes.
Oh, it does. Okay, I don't know. Okay. And just some, did most people live in the same home a year ago? Yeah, they did. Okay. Education level, that sort of thing. I will say we are pretty good at getting interviews. Sometimes you do a little tweaking, some statistical tweaking in the background, but if people don't answer the questionnaire, and we do have a lot of addresses that are what do we want to call them? Illegal addresses, or maybe unbeknownst to you, we get there and we do the interviewing. So, it's sort of giving you a picture of that one tract or whatever you want. And then occupations, once again, if you wanted to, you click on the DPO3 table and it opens the full table for you. Just so you know, this is how it works. Okay. So, any questions for me? Anybody, or Rich, do you
I
have?
do have a general question. Excuse me. It is correct to not compare overlapping 5-year estimate groups, correct? So if you have right?
That's what statisticians tell me.
Okay.
But most people aren't doing that from
Yeah.
what I've understood. And then I have people which New York City, I used to deal with New York City a lot. They decided to do a compromise. They would look at data every 3 years. They say there is some overlap, but there's less overlap. So you could, I'm not saying which way you want to go with this. But you could, whichever way, whatever you want to do, you can do that. I do want to tell you one other thing I should have said, that 2020 census was the ACS was carried out the same time. So we didn't let up on the ACS survey because there was a 2020 census. So both pieces of data are in there, and I really should show you that really quickly. If you can see my screen, let me just do this really quick. Let me go back to filters. Here are the filters. Look at that. Tract, whatever this tract is. Let me get rid of the year. So look at what I'm doing. I'm just getting rid of things in the filters, get rid of the year, and I will get rid of the 5-year data, but I will leave the tract information in there. And then I come down here. So I just want you to see if oh, it's a new tract. Okay, let me just get rid of that. Or it's not a new tract, but it's because it's in Naugatuck. Okay, let me just come down here, show you something slightly different. 2020, if you wanted that data, it is, here it is, there it is. I select the year. It is not easy to get to it, by the way. Geography, I will just, okay, county subdivision, and then remember the county was different back then, so pay attention. Connecticut, I'm not sure. I'm going to call it the capital region planning, and I don't know who's there. If there's any overlap, maybe it was called something different. Anyway.
Well, no, that's a new county equivalent.
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Okay,
Look
so
at New
let's just
Haven County.
New Haven. Okay, let's do that. New Haven. Oh, there it
And then,
is.
yeah,
Ansonia. Okay, we'll just grab Ansonia. So this is from 2020. What it's going to do is come down here to surveys and look what happens. It gives me both. It gives me American Community Survey or decennial. So if we select decennial, this is not typically easy to read. I mean, I find it a challenge, but what I will tell you is this demographic profile, DP. If I click on that, it is comparable to those DPO2, DPO3, DPO4, right? And so this is probably maybe one of them that you would want to look at. So this is a complete, considered full count. Okay, and as you go down here, here's the information. This is from the 2020 census. So DP1, it's called. And so it has race and counts. All this is in there for you to look at. Pretty big table, actually. So you can go in there and look at that. It would not have information like how much people make. Do they have disabilities? Did they live in the same place a year ago? That is not here. That's much more demographic information. So, I mean, this is a very tip of the iceberg demographic information, I'll call it. Okay, so this is here if you wanted that. So I would just say go for the demographic profile. There are some other profiles in there if you want to go through those, but I would say this is your entrance point to that. Okay, so just so you know, that's the 2020 information. It's in here too. All right. So any questions?
Is there a location on the website where there's a summary of all the information you can get on the census? Because sometimes, I would want to browse something that I may not know that would be interesting to have.
that would be the censusreporter.org.
Yeah. So let me show that. I come up here. So censusreporter.org, and I come here and I have to, I will confess, I don't use this website too much except for certain things. So I don't quite know how this part works, but I know how when I come down here, really far down, it has the table codes or these topics if you're looking for them. And so let's just say we're looking for health insurance. I click on health insurance and it shows me what the questions are that lead to the tables. And then it gives you these B tables. So B tables are tables that are just numbers and they just really deal with one topic. But sometimes those B tables are not there. They disappear for some reason. But anyway, let me just go back one. And the other thing that this is primarily what I would do is I go to table codes. And this is sort of where I enter. And I say, okay, I need information maybe about, I don't know, school enrollment. I see it's topic number 14. And then it's sort of telling me, here's the questions again. Here are those B tables. But what I also know, it's the S tables. Now I don't think they have them here, but I know that S tables will start with 14. And sometimes I like those S tables because they give me percentages. Okay. This doesn't give you everything, but it does help. So detailed tables right here. But let's just see what happens down here. Okay. Race, these are other tables. So it's telling you the A, B, C, that sort of thing down here. And I think, yeah, we can go down further. Here are those DP tables down here if you want to sort of go into those. I think let's just click on one. See what happens. Oh yeah, look at that. It brings you right into data.census.gov. And then you have to set up your geography. Okay, so that's another way to do it. And then the S tables. Look at that. So maybe you want, let's try that. Let me look for something that might be of interest. Select territories of the native and foreign-born populations. Let's just, actually, let's look at this. Population 60 years and over. So I'll click on S0102. It opens, it puts that table in here. It's right here. And then I have to sort of go looking for the geography myself and maybe even the year. So let's just see if I can do the year. I'm going to select 2022. And I'll come back to geography. Let's see what we get, okay? I know I'm going fast. County subdivision. And we're looking for Connecticut. And we're looking for Naugatuck+Valley. There it is. I'll just grab Naugatuck. There it is. And here it is. It didn't. I think it didn't.
Yeah,
It didn't quite work, did it?
no, it
I
didn't.
think it didn't.
Yeah.
CP05. What was that? What was the profile? What was?
Oh, S something. Oh, yeah, you know.
Yeah, I don't remember. I'm really sorry. Okay, let me just go back here. Okay, S. You know what you can always do, by the way? The back arrow. Back, and it is. Let's just see what this does over here. It says something. Oh, I see what it did. It gives the total. Yeah, it didn't. Okay, but you can remember it. S05's whatever I chose. S0102. Okay. Okay. Well, it is there. I guess it doesn't. What are the products here? Okay, 5-year estimates. We'll go there. Okay, it gives me the 5-year. Sorry, I don't want to take no for an answer. So notice I didn't put the year in yet, so it's offering me all these years, and I just chose the year that I want. And let's see if we can get it by county subdivision. Sometimes certain tables are not available at certain geographies. So we're gonna try one more time. Naugatuck, and let me go back, good old Ansonia. It must not be available under, I guess, 65,000. It's not available for 1-year data. That's what. So yeah, just be careful of that. But well, that stinks.
Well, that's also showing limitation of the data, so
Yeah,
that's useful.
yeah, it's all good. I will show you one other thing. I know I'm here for census stuff, but I'm just going to throw this in my little bonus here, Lanyap. Okay, Missouri Census Data Center. Okay, and somebody give me a town that they want information for. So here we go. Since this is run by Missouri, but not by us. Okay. And
From
you can
our
come here.
region?
Yeah, from your region. Yeah, give me your town. Give me your town.
Cheshire.
Cheshire. Okay, so come down here and we have let's see, population estimates. I believe that's it. We're going to come down here. Is that the one I want? No, that's not the one. Population, wrong one. Population estimates by age. I think it's this one. Trends, demographics. Yeah. Select your range. No. Okay, wait. Don't go anywhere. Population. Oh, it's under data. Sorry. ACS profiles right here. And you come here and you choose one. Okay, so it will say, what do you want? And you say, I want 5-year data. Okay, 2018, 2022. And they're pretty good at getting this going quickly. Okay, select the area. Okay, I want doesn't say count to say county subdivision. Okay,
Minor civil.
Minor civil division. Okay, minor civil division. And they always put Missouri first because they're the ones who invented this, right? You come back here, you say Connecticut, and okay, we got to drill down a little bit. Here we go, Naugatuck+Valley, and we're looking for Cheshire. There it is. I say Cheshire. I want all 4 of them together, generate a report. And I know once I show you this, you'll never use our website again. But anyway, here it is, the whole report, everything. It's all there for your whole town. And look at this. You can even say, oh, I want a PDF. And you click on it and it will make a PDF. And let's see what that looks like. And there it is, the PDF. It looks like this, ACS, Cheshire Town, Naugatuck+Valley Planning Region, and it gives you the date and it gives you all that data, and you can just go through and print that out. Now, it's not getting into any of those specialized tables. It's only doing those data profile tables. Okay, but it is breaking it out slightly different than we do. It's almost, hate to say it's almost better, but you know, a lot of people would like this. But you can't do any mapping here, but you can print this out if you want to. So let me just, yeah, go back. So once again, that is the MCDC, Missouri Census Data Center. Okay, and you can just come here and let's see if I can get back. Oh, there it is. Okay, and it's under data. Okay, and it's I lost it. ACS profiles. Okay, so and other things are in here too. I think you can go back and get your 2020 information as well if you want to do that. I've never, yeah, here it is. You're just going to drill down and get that. So you could go this route too. They're just doing the tip of the iceberg though. They're not I mean, I'm going to stop sharing. They're really doing just the tip of the iceberg if you wanted that, but they're not getting deep into those other tables that we have, or even mapping it if you wanted it. Okay? Did
Anybody else have any questions online?
I have a question about data downloads.
Mhm.
When you
Yep.
go to download a table, when you have a table open, you can download it from the like more options section in the right, like you were showing. You can also click on the left on like the table when they have the list of different tables. You can click download table, and usually if you click it there, you get a much cleaner table that's easier to work with for analysis. I was wondering if you had any insight as to the differences between those tables.
Okay. Stop the share window. Oh, the share window closed. Sorry. What did I do here? Let me see. Yeah, share screen. Okay. Let me just go into something really quick. Okay. So here's a DPO3 table, and here's the table, right? You can see this, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. And so I'm not sure. Over here on the right is where the ... is, and that's where you can download it, Excel, CSV, zip. Okay. So now the other thing that you mentioned, what was that?
If you click the little, if you expand that arrow that you closed earlier,
The filters.
if you open up the filters tab again,
Yeah.
you can download table data right there under your results.
Oh,
Near the view selector.
Yeah, right under where it says for results, view 10, 25, 50, that says download table data.
To the right.
oh,
Yeah.
to the right. Okay. Oh,
DP.
yeah, down. I think you can download multiples. You can download all of them at one time if you want to.
Right. If you click to download one of those, it gives it to you in a different format than if you download it the other way.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, let's see what that looks like if I can open it. Okay, oh, it's a zip. And here, you gotta click on that. And zip,
So
zip,
it might be the same. It might be the same as if you download zip that way, because I usually, if I'm downloading from the other tool, I'll take the CSV.
Ah, okay.
Maybe the zips are
Yeah,
the same.
it's did it download? It's not. I don't know why it's taking so long. Okay, okay. I'm just going to cancel. Okay, so it's good to know. I have not. Yeah, I knew we can download this. This is really effective if you don't select a year. I think if you choose the download, click on something and select the download, it will. I thought you could select multiple years. I guess not. But you can do this, right? You can go through like that and say download, and let me see what it looks like. Yeah, you can do this, go this route if you want to. So you can download multiple tables at one time. So thank you for bringing that up. That's really good to know. Yeah. I don't know what it looks like. I think it's going to look like one of these other things, like the Excel or it said a zip, didn't it? It brings it in a zip. If you're getting it in a zip, it's good for GIS. Okay, so. I don't know if I answered, I just demonstrated what you said. Yep. Okay, did I overwhelm people or are you okay?
Everybody looks a little overwhelmed, but I think that's good.
Okay, did I go too fast? I'm sorry, maybe just tell me now. Was that too fast?
No, I don't think so. We also have it recorded so people could play it back, so
Okay.
if need be. And
Okay.
then I'm always here to help people if you have issues, unless you're from another cog and I'm not helping you. But last call for anybody online for a question. If not, thank you, David, very much for your presentation today.
Okay. And
Thank
I'll
you
send you
for
the presentation as well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And thank you, everybody, for joining us today.
Great, thank you.
Okay, all right. I'll stay on the line. Are you gonna closing down?
Yeah, we're gonna close the Zoom. So thank
Okay.
you. And if you need
All
to
right.
call me later, you can do that.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Good luck. Good luck. Thank
Thank
you.
you.